right, you ready? Okay. So here's my third video on making a pussy hat, and the side seams have already been sewn. All right, what we're going to do is that we need to fold this up 3/4 of an inch. What I find a really easy, quick way to do this, you could measure and fold with a sewing gauge, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to use this Frixion marker. I talked about those on a previous video. I don't know if you can get that. It says Frixion. The only place I've been able to find these fine tip markers is on Amazon. So you do a search for Frixion markers and you should be able to find them. But anyway, what I'm going to do is that if I wanted to fold this 3/4 of an inch, if I draw a line where this edge is going to go to, then I will be able to fold it to that line really quickly. So that is double the distance I want to fold it. So I'm going to put this gridded ruler on the hat. I'm going to overlap 1.5 inches of the ruler onto the hat and draw a line. So the 1.5 inch mark, can you see this okay, Melissa? The 1.5 inch mark is at the edge of the hat. Then I'm just going to drag this marker across here and I'm going to get a line. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the same thing here. All right, so I put the 1.5 inch line, and you can always move the hat because it's flexible so that that edge meets at 1.5 inches. And I'll just go ahead and do that, put it aside and grab another one. And so then all I do here, and you can, if you want, you can put it on your mat if you have a gridded mat, and put that even with a line so it's really straight. Put 1.5 inches over like that. Now if you don't have clear gridded ruler like this, you could take a strip of cardboard or maybe poster board and make it 1.5 inches and just put that there as your guide, because we want this to be quick. So it's easy, okay? Especially if you're making a lot of hats. If you aren't, well, then you can take as much time as you want. So then once I've marked this whole pile, I'm going to do one step at a time to make this efficient. I'm going to then pin these up. The first thing, now you're going to have to see this, is that, oh, I wanted to cut that. So, well, I'll do it later. I like to cut this corner off right here from the stitching line to here, because if I cut that corner off, what happens is that it folds a little bit more neater, but it's okay. It's no big deal. So I'm going to fold this up to that line and stick a pin in to hold it. Then I'm going to go over to the other seam, open up the seam allowance with my fingers and fold it up. All right. Now, if you say serged the seam, because you have a serger and you wanted to be real quick about that, you won't be able to open up the seam. So what I do instead, your seam has to be pushed to one side. What I like to do in a hem area to reduce the bulk is to twist the seam in the hem area and put that up like this. That way you have a seam this way and a seam this way. I don't clip, because what I found with knits is if you clipped like halfway there, you'll probably develop a hole. And so I would just do a twist down there and then pin that so that the seams go in opposite directions. That reduces the bulk. Then I find if you're going to pin this, then I usually pin 2 more times, keeping it on that line. Now the neat thing about having that line is that you can keep the edge on that line as you sew. So I'm going to then pin here so that I have 2 more pins on each side, okay? So this panel gets 2 more. You know, like just eye it a third of the way across. So you see, I bring it to that line and like that. And so I'm going to do that to all of these hats before I go to the sewing machine. All right, so that's it for now.